Hello again, everyone. I'm Gary Gotzo. Welcome to Race First coverage of Round 4. We're halfway through the season of the inaugural season of the ISRA Truck Series as we come to you tonight from Michigan International Speedway. Joining me in the booth for this season is my former iRacing, actually my current teammate in iRacing, really, but he's a former Indy Fixed Series champion. Won a heck of a race here a couple weeks ago in the IndyCar Series, but he's back again to kind of help me with the trucks. Is Mark Murphy. So, Mark, we've been kind of watching him in practice and a little slip sliding away out there right now.
Yeah, it's warm out there, Gary. We've got weather right now. The track is 117 degrees and climbing. The forecast, which we can now view in iRacing, shows that it's only going to get hotter. We're in the heat of the day, 1:11 a.m. and 1:11 p.m. The temperature's only going to continue to rise, and as the mercury rises, the grip levels fall dramatically. We've already seen a lot of these trucks getting loose, particularly turns 3 and 4. They also get really light coming off of turn 2, and the way that you drive these things, using the slip angles off the right rear, you drive them loose anyway, and there's a really fine line between loose is fast and loose is backwards. And we just saw I just saw a truck sliding backwards through turn 2, so they've already started qualifying.
That is right. Track temp is 117. Humidity is fairly dry out there, 26%. Wind out of the north at 6 miles per hour. But it's a clear 77 degrees, so it's not overly hot, but the track temp is getting up there. And currently watching right now, Chris Fowler with about 2 minutes, 23 seconds left to play, as he is currently provisionally third on the starting grid with a 179.9. Lewis Hayes, he is sitting there at a 180.084. And a newcomer to the series, because we kind of pushed things back a little bit to allow more participation from the ISRA crew. Joe Flanagan, in his first race, taking it to the top right now, provisionally at 180.4 miles per hour.
Yeah, they're only about 50 miles an hour slow.
We're used to the IndyCar speeds here, very much so.
Yeah, so that's one of the things that I notice when I drive these trucks, and I've been handy in them in the past. We made the chase over in the Elite Racing League a couple of years ago in a truck, but it feels slow. Everything happens in them very fast because there is no aero to help you out here. It's all based on mechanical grip. Dirty air isn't as nearly the problem as it is in an open wheel car. And I mentioned a term that you're going to hear a lot tonight. I want our team and I want our people that are watching at home to watch the right rears of these trucks as they navigate through turns, through the corners. The really fast guys are going to have that right rear hung out just a little bit, and there's a slip angle that you can feel as you drive. And if you can ride that very fine line, you can go really, really fast and not spin the thing out. You cross the line, that's when the old saying goes, in slow, out fast, in fast, out backwards. You get that thing wrong and you're coming out of the corner backwards. But it's really, really, really super fast if you can get it right.
Wagner to the top, to P2 there, 180.1. We're watching him on the feed right now.
Yeah, see, he's got that kind of attitude. You can kind of see it, how the right rear is just a little bit bent out of shape. He's on it. Nice lap from Matt Wagner.
Cristobal Valenzuela underway. He had a very strong first couple of races.
Yes, he did.
And qualifying is up, so he did not get a chance to get a time lapped in. So we will set him up here, based by iRating here at the tail end of the field, as we get today's starting lineup in. You can go right ahead, sir. We'll bring them right up.
Hey. So on the pole with a lap at 39.923, Joe Flanagan outside. Matt Wagner in the number 12. Lewis Hazel starts third in the number 38, flanked by Chris Fowler in the 20. Row 3 made up of Sam Crow in the 8, Mark Cohn in the 39, Michael Goodman inside row 4 in the 28. Ian Mull, very fast truck from the first couple of events, to his outside. Row 5, Richie Hearn in the number 70. I do not think I need sunglasses to look at that truck. And then he's going to have
the Polka Dot Express.
He's going to have Rigney to his outside. George Alonso, the Lionheart himself, starts 11th. Ron Hacker 12th. Joe Hassard 13th. Lionel Callisto 14th. Sybil Valenzuela, Hugo Galez, Brian Beard, Christopher Reagan, and who is Jay?
That is going to be John Von Vor Ellis, I believe, is what we got in there for him. I double-checked that.
Van Verala. So those trucks from 14th to the rear, so we got 19 here. Those 5 guys did not set a time. Callisto, Valenzuela, Galez, Beard, Reagan, and Van Veralis did not set a time. So they'll line up via iRating. We are about, I don't know, minute to green.
Yep, we sure are.
The countdown is on.
All right, well, let's get this graphic off as we are getting ready to move. There we go. Got some guys that are wanting to get moving here. Again, do us a solid and make sure hit that thumbs up if you're watching from home, and subscribe and click the bell for notifications for future Race First iRacing broadcasts. We got a lot of them, including tomorrow night, our signature broadcast that we've kind of built our name on, the top split of the IndyCar Fixed, or they call it now the IndyCar Oval Series, but it's the old Indy Fixed Series, 8:15 from Charlotte, and we just might see Mark Murphy in the lineup.
There's a very good chance of that. I'm excited. I like Charlotte a lot. That's a lot of fun. It races much differently. You know, people look at that in Texas and Kentucky and Chicago and Kansas and Atlanta, and you kind of think, oh, well, it's a mile and a half, shaped or quad oval. They're all the same. Well, they're not. And anybody that's ever driven around Charlotte knows that it's a lot more different than the others.
That place is narrow, very, very narrow, very bumpy too.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's a lot more narrow than it looks. The other part of that is you got Humpy's bump down there in turn 1, and that thing will turn you straight sideways if you hit it wrong. So, I'm looking forward to that. It's almost like Monaco, where you drive around the bump.
Right.
Green here. But you do vary your line, because if you hit that bump wrong, you're going for a ride. Joe Flanagan.
Joe
Flanagan going to lead him down here from Matt Wagner and get this party started as they head to the Geico restart zone, Gary.
And it does look like Christopher Reagan is starting for whatever reason. At least I don't see him in the lineup or going. So this could have championship implications here. And a good day for Lionel Callisto if he gets a good finish out of this. But we are, well, it's pretty typical for Michigan. 5 wide, 5 different lines through turns 1 and 2.
And you can do that in a truck just the same as you can in an open wheel car. Big Joe Hassert dropped right straight to the back on the start. I really thought that as they go wide in the front now. These guys are itching. These guys are itching to run their trucks all the way to the scene of the crash very early. Can't lose the race in turn 1, but you can certainly win it. They've made a lap now. That's a good-looking tide ride.
It is.
Passer. Reminds me. I don't know if I'd rather say it's Darrell Waltrip or Ricky Rudd. It's a good-looking truck.
Ooh. Just saw Richie Hearn tag the turn 3 wall on entry there.
It might have been a little bit of, well, he's down, he's struggling. I thought he was going to come on a pit lane there a minute. Decides the better of it.
In the draft, playing a huge role for these guys. These punch a mega hole in the air.
They do. It's powerful, but it's not at the same time. And it kind of cuts both ways because the trucks don't have a lot of downforce, at least to what they're used to, and the dirty air isn't as big of an effect because you have to lift in the corners even just a little bit to kind of set the nose. But they don't have a lot of suck, just because these things are running 180 miles an hour. That's terminal velocity anyway. It doesn't play a whole. I mean, it's there, but it's not a huge thing. I wonder if we're going to see bump drafting.
Watching last week's winner, Dean Darth Maul. He is up 3 spots. He's working his way to the front. We have a truck to the inside. Sam, actually, we have 2 8 trucks out here. That is the Sam Crow is in the 8, and I'm trying to see who is in front of.
Well, I think
Cone?
We might have some.
Yeah, Cone in the 39, which is listed as an 8 on the racetrack here.
And the old Trading Paints custom numbers. He's 39 on the entry list. We're going to see these guys kind of sort out single file a little bit here. They're not going to be able to do this very long. In these trucks, you feel like Superman the first 2 or 3 laps. Then as the tires build some heat and they get some pressure in them, they start to get pretty skaty, pretty dicey. I would imagine we're going to see most of the competitors here kind of move more gradually to the top of the track as the tires get heat and wear on them.
Mark Cohen, the watchman. He is working his way up to 3rd. Chris Fowler now P2. Dean Darth Maul here sitting in 4th. Richie Hearn, despite bouncing off the turn 3 wall and corner entry, is hanging on here for 5th. Lewis Hayes back in 7th. Lionel Callisto, he is looking for the big day right now. Yeah, we're going to have to see a lot of wiggles here now as these tires come up to super temperature. And we'll double check the track temp. Track temp's 120 now.
Yeah, it's starting to get hot. Heat of the day, and you're going to see guys start to skate around a little bit. That's why that top line is really going to get affected. The bottom here at Michigan can be almost like fool's gold, where it looks inviting, it looks open, but it's not really, because you have to check yourself up so much down there that it negates the advantage of running. Like you see Cone there. Cone, I think it is.
Yep.
Running right around the bottom. Now he's drawn even with Chris Fowler for 2nd. No, but he's using up a lot of stuff to do it, and we've still got 30 laps probably to play out in this run. He's using up a lot of tire to get that accomplished. Chris, I mean, if he wants, he can keep Mark Cone pinned on the bottom down there, not really lose any time.
So far, Joe Flanagan's led them all in that 53 truck. It's a green truck. It's St. Patrick's week. It's good enough.
Well, we got a yellow. Brian
Beard going backwards, and he's in a green truck. Oh my goodness!
No.
Hacker just narrowly misses him. But let's go back a little bit further here and see what happened.
I think
it's already. I think it was already in. There we go.
We got some
a little net code there from Big Joe. That's okay.
A little bit. Now, the craziness here isn't that Beard saves the truck, right? Until he gets tagged, he's going to get tagged by Hugo Gallows coming through here. It's not Hugo's deal. He's just trying to make it. Poor Beard now. He's finally got hit he's finally hit something, and he almost gets hit. He almost gets hit again by Ron Hacker. But I don't know, 4 seconds after the fact. I'm interested to see what Hacker saw out all that.
Well, we're riding along with Hacker in slow-mo here. A little bit farther back in time more than we should have, but we will see what Big Joe sees.
Yeah, see, he's just coming, and then he doesn't know which way to go, and that's a huge. He doesn't know. He doesn't really know
There it
which way
is.
to go. Is he gonna slide left? Is he gonna slide right? So he picks one way, and then unfortunately, Brian Beard just
And
slides
here's
to the other side of the
Hacker.
way.
Hacker coming. And, ooh, he gets a Hugo, and, contact made.
Yeah, not really much you can do there if you're Big Joe.
All those guys are going to have to stop. But more than that, George and Zaldo stopped. Big Joe, of course, had contact. He stopped. Sam Crow, I don't think had any contact in that wreck. He stopped. Lionel Callisto playing the long game. He stopped. Say Hey Lewis Hayes, he stopped playing the long game. Ron Hacker had to get that execute that fast repair. So did Brian Beard, and also Hugo Gallas, who is getting a little extra work done on pit road. So lap 10, we're ninth of the way through this thing, and we are under caution, but that is okay. We kind of expected that this would be a little bit more of a more yellows in this one that we have in previous races, just because the track temperature is so hot, and what you talked about early on with the drivers, hanging out that right rear.
Yeah, it's so easy to spin these trucks out at a high-speed track like this where you're hanging on the right rear. One thing I'd like to point out: those guys that stopped, George and them guys, can run anywhere between 36 and 40 laps on gas. So, those guys, if they're thinking about saving a little bit, and here you do lift. So, if you lift a little bit and run the bottom, you could just be able to make it 40 laps on a tank of gas. And I know I went to Ball State, so probably not the authority on math, but I'm pretty sure that 11, we're on the 11th lap now. 11 minus 90 is less than 40 times 2.
We shall see here. We got a couple housekeeping before we go green. I do want to thank the guys at Track Cams for Gourmets at trackcam22.com that we are using their Michigan package. You too can get your own custom track cams from Track Cams for Gourmets at trackcams22.com, as we are a proud supporter of them and what they do. Also, if you have not done so already, and you're watching or you're a participant in the league, you're watching this after, and you haven't donated to the broadcast fund, please do so. Our GoFundMe link is in the description, and we're lining up 2x2 to go back to racing here. One of the few restarts we've seen here in the ISRA Truck Series. Round 4, we're midway through, and we'll also talk about the change in schedule coming up too. The last 3 races of the season have changed out, but this week and next are still the same, but we'll talk about the change in schedule coming up. And we are green. Flanagan taking a very early nose lead over the Watchman.
Yep. Good restart by everybody. They all, they kind of stayed in line there. Nobody got checked up. Nobody spun the tires. So good job to everybody there. They fan out now, Pocono style, going through turn 1 and 2. We still have Joe Flanagan
on to the front.
Yeah, there he goes. In close attendance, Joe Flanagan and Chris Fowler, Dean Mall.
Richie Hearn. Actually, again, it looks like he did not stop, so he's still sporting whatever damage he had when he hit the turn 3 wall a little bit earlier. He'll still have a fast repair that he can execute if he needs to. He's still good. He's still racing.
I was thinking about the strategery of that fast repair there. I don't know that I would use it on lap 10.
No, I wouldn't.
Now, if my old truck was running good and I was still able to keep up, I don't think I'd use that guy just yet. I'd wait. There's still plenty of opportunity out there to bend defenders. So no reason to use it up with 80 to go.
Darth mauled him on him here.
Yeah, that's a power move from Maul. Look at that. Just straight to the bottom and drove right by them all. He's going to have some help.
Yeah, he's going to have a little help. Bump drafting. That is definitely bump drafting right there.
Now I asked that question. Are we going to see it?
Yeah, we're going to see it, and we did. 5 different lines in that shot right there through 1 and 2.
Ooh,
oh, there's contact. Going inside. Keep it off the wall. 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 Oh! And just he had so good luck that that's where the safety vehicles are parked. But that's the good luck. The bad luck is I don't think we're cautioned.
We are.
We are, okay.
Yellow light is on.
Oh, yellow light just came on. Okay.
Oh my goodness. He stopped. I'm gonna call that 3 inches.
Yeah.
That opening there where the safety trucks go. That is actually, by the way, if you wanted to go back in time, that is actually part of the old Michigan road course. Most people don't know that Michigan had one of those. It does, or did. Road courses here were laid out by Sterling Moss.
Watch this. Here it is. We're watching the replay.
Yeah.
Boom.
Just come together off of 2. How he missed that wall, though. My goodness.
And he's thinking to himself, oh my God, keep it off the wall, keep it off the wall, keep it off the wall, keep it off the wall. And just as he gets control of his truck, right there.
Yeah, just, my goodness. How he, and I was thinking about this in my head. I was thinking, let off the brakes, let it come back around and nail the gas and try to spin it back up the track, which Richie Hearn kind of did. But Cone just chose to lock it down, and holy, he just missed it. But back to the road course thing, this track is a twin to Texas World, which Texas World Speedway's road course was actually, before it became a condo development, the road course was far more popular than the oval, and in far more.
Yeah, they did many SCCA races there. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So this kind of shakes up the lead a little bit. We're on our second caution, lap 16 of 90. Dean Mall now the leader. Chris Fowler, P2. Michael Goodman very quietly worked his way up to P3. Cristobal Valenzuela up 11 spots. He is now up 4. Brian Beard, 5th. Sam Crow is 6th. Now, Beard, we're watching him right now in that green 8 there. He is the first truck to pit that is pitted. So the top 4 have not pitted. Mall, Fowler, Goodman, Valenzuela all have not pitted. Beard pitted back on lap 10. So Beard and Crow, along with Anzaldo and Hacker, they're all on the lap 10 strategy, while everyone else is on the lap 16 strategy. I'm not so much that there's a difference going on. We'll see. But that is what we got going on right now. Showing now 17 cars left running. Big Joe Hassert has parked it for whatever reason. Maybe he had to make a run for something. We do see Mark Cohen making a run down pit road one more time to get topped off here as he's at the back of the field.
Now you can definitely make it in one more stop from here. So that would be a bigger brained move for the guys that just stopped. I know George just came in. That's a big move.
So here's the point situation that we talked about. Christopher Reagan did not take the green flag, so I'm not showing up for this race. Not sure if he had some equipment failure or something happened at home right at the last minute. Believe me, we've all been there. But he had a 1-point lead over Callisto, so Callisto, just by finishing this race, should jump that spot. Now, also involved in this battle is Sam Crow, who's currently in 6th. He is 3rd in the ISRA Truck Series points with 103 versus Lionel Callisto's 114. Also involved in this race, Matt Wagner with 97 and Dean Mall with 95. So the key points leaders are still rolling in this one, with the exception of Reagan, and we will probably start seeing some different leaders at the exit of this particular race when we're done at this in the 90 laps.
We're gonna see. We've got 3 distinct strategies. So the top 4 haven't stopped, and then you've got guys that stopped at lap 10, and you've got guys that stopped at lap 17, and so. What's the best strategy? I'm laying the money on the guys that stopped just now. So,
big jump, great jump by Darth Maul.
Yep. Now, we didn't talk about this. There are 4 sets of tires available to these guys.
Yep.
The pits. Mark Cohn, Lionel Callisto, have used up. They're on their 3rd set already. They've only got 2 more on their all. The guys at the front still have all 4 of theirs. So something to kind of keep an eye on if we get a late race caution. It looks good on paper now, Gary. You get a late race caution, 10 to go. You don't have any tires left in the pit lane.
Yep.
That could be a hurt. It's something I wish iRacing would do, by the way, is let us put on scuffs. If you had a set you only ran for maybe 10 laps or something, you're out of tires and
Mark Cohen going 3 wide in the 1, right down to the bottom.
He's not going to waste any time. He's
got freshies on right now, and he's keeping it pinned to the bottom under Alzano. Alzano and him are going to go side by side down the backstretch. Joining the battle is Say Hey Lewis Hayes, and he is right there. I thought for a minute he was going to take it 3 wide, but he just kind of tucks in. Now, he's probably the most... George getting sideways, going through corner.
Now they're going to wreck him. They're going to wreck
contact
him.
With Lewis.
We got yellow.
And Hacker. So let's see what happened with Hacker here first. There were 2 going on at the same time. Hacker just gets loose. And I think he might have got help. Nope. Really close to getting help, though. And he cuts across Van Ellis. No contact.
It's just air is all that is. That's just air.
Keeps it off the wall. Look at the truck. Just dig for... and he does make contact.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to hurt him. I don't think that's going to hurt him too bad. And I don't think Say Hey Lewis Hayes hit anything. He might have a dent in the door, but that's about it.
Yeah, I think, let's watch Anzaldo here. And I think George gets a little loose right there. That back end comes out. He captures it. He goes down to he steers into it, so he's now capturing. Goes to the banking, or to the apron, off the banking now, back up onto the banking, and probably didn't know that Hayes was there. Looks like a little bit of net code. Hits Hayes sideways. Hayes going through the grass, makes contact with nothing, but he's probably going to have to stop on pit road and get those tires taken care of now. So again, he's probably used up an extra set of tires than he really wants to.
Well, and that's true, right? So now he's going to be down to his last set, the pits.
It's going to be a long 70 laps.
Yeah, with 1 set of tires. I mean, I don't know if I were him, having just changed them, I would change them.
And I was just getting ready to say that he's probably the most stock car savvy of this group. I know there's a couple, 3 or 4 stock car ringers that are amongst this group. Keep in mind, most of these are know each other through Lionheart IndyCar. So they don't get into the trucks very often. So when they do, they got a couple ringers over here that do normally do trucks. And I think Hayes is one of those. I thought he was just going to kind of get in line and fuel conserve the tires, and just wait for everything to happen in front of him. Unfortunately, he was part of what happened in front of him.
Yeah, and I'm looking at my race labs now. He stopped. He got his damage fixed. Did not use the fast repair, and he did not take a set of tires.
Okay.
I'm still showing he's on his third set. So he did not, Gary. He did not take a set of tires. And how about Dean Mall and Cristobal Valenzuela, Michael Goodman? They're still setting up there.
Yeah, they're expecting more cautions. Yeah.
They're still setting up there on their original set of Goodyears. We won't talk about Goodyear tires though. Just because I usually run a Firestone sticker on my car. But how about that Bristol race? Did you see that? Holy mackerel!
No, I was I missed out on the NASCAR race, but while we're talking, if we want to talk about the Firestones and Goodyears, of course, Michigan was the site of Firestone's first win when they returned back to IndyCar racing back in '95, I believe it was, when they had Scott Pruitt outduel Allitzer Jr. There to the end there at the Michigan 500. That was a great race. Go back and watch that on YouTube.
What a fabulous race that was. Pruitt had a rocket on the ovals all year. He was in contention to win the Indianapolis 500, and then it was Pruitt's caution that brought about Scott Goodyear's heartbreak.
Yeah.
The whole pass and the pace car thing. Scott Pruitt was either leading a race or
he was stalking the leader at the time, and he kissed the turn 2 wall and then spun to the infield, hit the inside wall there coming off of turn 2. But yeah, great race. If you get a chance to watch that on YouTube, I believe, and we're getting ready to go green here, I believe that race is what kind of ushered in about that 20-year period of pack racing on super speedways for Indy cars. But we're back green here with trucks. Dean Mall, the leader. Cristobal Valenzuela tucks in for P2, and Michael Goodman hanging on for third. But he's going to have Brian Beard on the high side. He's going to get a good run down the backstretch on a newer set of tires. And we're going to see how long that those guys up in the front can last on tires that are, at the top of your screen, 23 laps old.
A little bit of a blink out of Cristobal. One of the things that I'm interested to see, it's not going to affect Dean Mall as much. He's out in clean air. And Brian Beard, if you get up there, certainly you can. There's 3 wide back there. There's 3 wide back there for fourth.
Mark Cohen, the watchman on the bottom again. Here comes Rigney.
I believe he's going to have to buy that white line dinner.
Rigney gets almost checked to the top by Wagner. Wagner floats up there, but Wagner gives him room.
All right, so Mark Cohn has made it to fourth. He's now P4. He's going to set sail. He's got the lap 17 tires. And so now how long is it going to take him? How long is it going to take for him to get there? You got Cohn, you got Beard is on lap 10 tires, but then Cohn, Wagner, and Rigney all stopped at lap 16. So that same yellow with Mark Cohn.
Here comes Flanagan. He's worked his way up to 9th. I believe he's one of those ringers as well.
Now, give credit to how good Dean Mall and Cristobal Valenzuela and Michael Goodman are. Them guys, and we're going to see Cohn get Goodman here, but credit to them guys. They're not getting eaten up. Golly, he gets so low down there.
He is running that IndyCar line. You were talking about that when you were doing your practice laps. It's like it's hard to not want to do the IndyCar line here in these trucks.
It is, and it'll burn the tires off if you do it. I mean, it's really hard on the right front to run that low that consistently. The other thing is these guys are doing the opposite of what I would do. Like, I would have my deal right up against the fence trying to save the tires. Where, they're all just letting the rough side drag. If I was Mark Cohn, I'd be managing my tires, because He's only got a couple of sets left.
And he's looking to the inside of Cristobal. He's going to make the move on the main straight here. Maybe pull it off by the time he gets down the 1. Riding with Rigney in the draft of Goodman there. There he goes. Cone down to the bottom, all the way to the bottom. Gets the position over Cristobal, move him up to 2nd. Kind of Brazilian clears himself a little bit, but he was clear. Cristobal to the inside.
Now, Cristobal's not going to let him go.
No.
He's not going to let him go. Oh, they're awful close.
Yeah, they were. I think Cristobal got a little loose on the bottom, but got it back under control. It might cost him a position here. Here's Goodman. They're going down to the apron now.
Now, one that I'm kind of watching a little bit deeper in the field right now is proceeding with a little bit more caution. Michael Cohen, Mark Cohen, he threw caution to the wind and put the hammer down and stormed to the front. Chris Fowler lap 21 tires as opposed to the lap 17s that are on P2, and he is just kind of very quietly and methodically. He restarted outside the top 10, quietly, methodically picking off trucks. Nice, he's passed Richie Hearn in the 7th, and he's going to go after Flanagan for 6th. Watch out for that 20. I believe he might be at the front before this is all over with.
Yeah, I don't doubt his pace at all. Ron Hacker shows out. Big Joe is also out. So there was an interesting Big Joe driving trucks here. So as a kid, I had a favorite book that I used to have my parents read to me. I was like 5, 6, and it was called Big Joe's Tractor Trailer. And every time I see Big Joe, especially riding a truck, driving a truck, I just think of that book as a kid. Big Joe's Tractor Trailer. The stuff that interests us when we're 5.
Yeah, no, I had one that my grandfather.
Here's Mark Cohen to the front.
Yep, there he goes. Chris Fowler, by the way, up in the handsome Harry.
Yeah, he is right there, getting a launch down the backstretch. Flanagan all of a sudden looked up and was like, "Oh, well, where'd he come from?"
He's gonna get old Flanagan, and he was pushing Michael Goodman down the back, and they're gonna go 3 wide here.
Fowler just losing grip, was just sawing at the wheel to get more grip, find a place, keeps it out of the wall, amazingly keeps his momentum up, but he's gonna lose a spot out of that, but a great save on his part. The top 3 are starting to pull away a little bit.
Yep, they're gonna pull away, but I'll tell you where they're going to be pulling, where Maul and Cristobal Valenzuela are going to be pulling here in a few minutes. Michael Goodman is down to pit lane. They've been out there for 30 laps. I think about the most you can do on gas is 40-41. You're saving. So they're going to be due anytime, Gary.
Well, I mean, can they get the 45 and do this in one stop? We've had some caution.
Fowler's already inside. He's going to hit the pit wall. Ow!
Try to get Fowler on the camera. There we go.
Oh my goodness! Just the wiggles off of turn 4, kiss the wall, and ow!
Yeah,
right.
Just as we kind of talked about, a number of cars kind of getting loose off before he goes up, actually gets tight, goes into the barrels. Oof.
Ouch! That hurt watching. I hope he took his hands off the wheel. I hope he took his hands off the wheel, because if he's got a podium or something like that,
and that's going to have to be a tow and repair, because I would imagine that the engine's probably terminal on that. It looks like the left front is at a camber that shouldn't allow him to drive, but we'll see as he's trying to limp that back under power, starting to show some smoke.
Yeah, he's smoking. The left front wheel is at a very unnatural angle, and it is not rolling.
But this is good opportunity for Maul Valenzuela.
Sorry, I'm watching Chris Fowler. The left front wheel just detached and had a secondary crash. It's now rolling to the exit of turn 2. Sorry, I just found that funny, Gary.
It's still
He's
it's still attached on my screen, but
it,
yeah. The virtual tethers are still.
it's off on my screen. It detached and it went down. It went rolling for the. He's still under power though. If he can get it back and avoid the tow and get his fast repair, hey, he goes to the back, and he was one of those guys that had only stopped once. So, if he get that thing back, why not? He's gonna make it. How about
Yeah,
that?
he is. He is. He's gonna get there. Blue. Listen to that truck. Okay, everything fixed. Snap of the fingers.
Now, here's the thing: he's gonna go a lap down. Cone is 4 seconds behind him in the relative. So he's
Yeah, I hear him roll. We'll see if he rolls off. He's rolling off, and he started ahead enough in the field that he has a pit stall that's pretty forward, and that's going to help him. He gets out before going a lap down, so that is not good news for the rest of the field.
Because now Chris Fowler is going to get to drive all the way back to the front
Cohen riding the clutch for a lot of that front stretch there, so he's maximum saving. I think some of these drivers might want to try to make this on. I don't know if these guys can, but I think Dean Mall can, if he stopped, which he did, that might be his one and only stop.
Maybe. I mean, you're going to need a lot more yellows. The other thing is, I mean, it's a short field, so that all plays into your calculus. Okay, it's a short field.
No, he's going to have to go. He's going to have to stop again. If you were talking about 40, it's going to bring him short. I was thinking maybe he could get to 45, but he's going to decide to stop now. So I think everybody still has a stop again.
Well, and I mean, everybody's going to have at least one more. Cone and Flanagan are marginal at this point, but then Cone's only got, he's short a set of tires, so he's already changed tires twice. He's only got 2 sets left. Joe Flanagan, stopped at 16. He'll stay up there and gamble. Those tires aren't used up yet. He's got light fuel out there in the front. You might be able to hold it for a while. You just got to think, 40, 74. Everybody's got one more stop. Cone and Flanagan are going to need they're going to need the yellow to wave again here shortly, probably within the next, I don't know, 15, 20 laps or so.
Mike Rigney with the purple lap with a 40.444. Give me an idea what those speeds are. Rigney there, 178 flat. Callisto in the neighborhood, a 178 flat. Cone with a 178 flat. So they're all getting pretty close there, but a lot of 177, 176s. No one's really pulling away here.
No, I mean it's not like a drafting track like you would think of, Daytona. It's how the draft obviously works, but it's not like Daytona, Talladega, Atlanta, this place in an Indy car. It's not that powerful. The leader can hold it, so you're not necessarily a sitting duck. No, I don't necessarily agree or disagree. I think I said this. I said this last night to somebody. You don't really know whether the strategy call is a good one or a bad one until the end, right?
Right.
So, okay, well, some of these guys are rolling the dice. Flanagan and Cone rolling the dice. Stay out. Why not?
Could have been that IRA 05 race we did yesterday at Motegi.
Yeah, get yourself out there. Get yourself on TV on Raceverse, right? Just get out there and get your sponsors some airtime. How about it?
And Cullen getting a big jump on everyone around him. And we are back underway at lap 36.
I don't know if they got the restart zones turned on. Chris Fowler has a black flag. I don't know if they turned the restart zones on. If they did, he went awful early. I don't know if you want to back that up a little bit, Gary, but not supposed to go until you get to that Geico. Supposed to go till you get to that Geico paint down there. And I don't know. I just don't know if Mark Cone wasn't on it before he got there.
If he comes up to speed here.
Yeah, he's on the power well before the
Fowler?
Before the zone.
Or Cone?
Cone. Yeah. Cone.
Oh.
I don't know. I don't know if Chris Fowler has like a.
I don't think. I don't think. I thought you said Fowler got a black flag, but I don't think he did. But I think he was good.
Yeah,
they must not have the Geico restart zone on unless Cone just gave it back. And if he does have to answer a black flag, it's going to be at least a drive-through. But your leader, while we're watching that, is Lionel Callisto, who, if has a good finish today, probably is going to end up as our points leader going into next week at Gateway. So we talked about the schedule changing for the Truck Series. The Truck Series has replaced its final 3 races of the season with Iowa, Dover, and then wrapping up at Auto Club, or Fontana, as I prefer to call it. So before, if you see in the schedule back in the description, you see Charlotte, Las Vegas, and Homestead. Now they're going to go to a short track, a high-banked 1-mile oval, and another 2-mile super speedway to wrap up the season. So that will be all here in the next couple of weeks here on Race First here in the ISRA Truck Series.
Now, Chris Fowler has answered the black flag. Lionel Callisto still leads from Dean Mall.
Not sure what Fowler got the black flag for.
Only thing I can think, I didn't see him
speeding off pit road, maybe.
Well, but that should only be an end of line, so that would have had to have been passing before the.
I didn't see him pass. We watched him on the restart, and I didn't see him pass. But caution, and it's. Are we caution? Are we still green?
Oh, we are caution.
I'm showing caution.
Cristobal Valenzuela sideways, and it appears as though he might have had some assistance from the 78 of John Bonbarellis over in turn 3 over there.
Oh, and there's there's blinking, and I'm 1 minute he's there, and the next minute he's not.
Aha! There you go. We'll let the broadcast control there. Cristobal had been blinking a little bit earlier, but you see it there on the screen. There he is. He's not.
Yep.
There he is, and there he goes. Really much you can do if you're the 78 there. Guy blinking in front of you. It's not really Cristobal's fault either.
No.
He doesn't know he's doing it. And he is,
Oh. And Flanagan coming to pit road.
He is Central American, and we talked about that, the international flavor of these series. If you go look at the ping list, Cristobal and Hugo Galez.
Hugo Galez on pit road right now. George Anzaldo on pit road.
Those little things you look for.
So Chris Fowler is going to get a benefit of this because I believe they do have lucky dogs on for this series. They're just using NASCAR Truck Series rules, and Fowler will be able to recover from this.
So with 1 to go, he'll be told to go around. Now he's going to have to run hard to get back to the back of the field, Gary.
Yeah.
He's waiting on iRacing to turn him loose. You can see him back there itching to go. But that was one of the things we talked about in that Motegi race was international flavor and guys with different pings. And certainly, looking at the list, there are guys with ping rates higher than others, and that's not their fault. I've definitely been in crashes where there was Indiana to Boston to Sweet to Boston to Indiana that involved for Jesper, and I have collided because of that. It's it's part of this. It's like it's just like mechanical failure in the real world or something. It's something you have to deal with.
All right, we should get the 1 to go. They'll line up side by side, and then Chris Fowler is going to really have to hustle it if he does get that wave around. Let's see what happens. Lights are out on the pace car. We'll see if Fowler gets their wave around or not. I don't think so.
Turn him loose? No.
Maybe he wasn't eligible? Not sure.
Well, so in order to be eligible for the lucky dog, you have to can't be involved in the accident.
Right.
But he wasn't involved in the accident, so they may not have it turned on.
Okay, well.
It's gonna have to do it the old-fashioned way.
Yeah, it's gonna have to do Jacques Villeneuve it. Yeah, you'd be able to tell me. You'll be able to tell me in the rules there if you bring up the iRacing overlay and click on the rules. It'll tell you if there's lucky dogs here. So, but we do have double file restarts, and that is what the formation we see going on now. Going to go green, just shy of the halfway point at 43 laps. It has been a kind of a stop and go affair. Richie Hearn up to third, Rigney fourth, Cone amongst the leaders all day, fifth. Matt Wagner quietly working his way up to sixth. Van Ellis up to seventh. Field under the command of Callisto. And green
Left
flag.
It a lot later.
Yep, he did. And Richie Hearn going to look low here and try to capitalize and fill in that spot that Callisto was.
I think he's going to fill just that spot. I think he's going to fill.
He's probably trying to go to the lead
here in a minute. Just can't get that good run off the bottom there. The tires are all equal at the front now, by the way. Everybody stopped 34, 35, about. Ooh. Deep ball slid right across the nose of Richie Hearn. And now Hearn's going to butt grab him the whole way down the front straight. I don't know that pleased the pilot with the number 70 there. Nonetheless, they sail off into turn one. And nobody lost anything, but he slid right across the nose. They're kind of weaving back and forth in front of each other.
Oof. Maybe he got into the back a little, pushed him up a little bit. Top three to the bottom. Rigney's staying a little high. Now he brings the truck down to the bottom to get into the draft.
It's kind of a tight formation between P2 and P3 there. You might back that out. You can only do that, by the way, for a couple.
Go ahead.
By the way, Gary, you only do that for a couple of laps, and you'll start to overheat it. So the gauges in the 70 might be blinking red, and that's why you see him attach momentarily, just to get some air into the radiators. That should.
Oh, Richie blinking. So we have reached the halfway point.
I think some of these guys have decided it might be time to ride a little bit. We've had, 4 or 5 cautions now?
Yeah.
Some of them may have decided it's just time to hang out for a little bit. Run some laps.
Ooh. Maul almost into the turn 4 wall there, kept it off there. So he is driving. He is driving hard. He's driving hard to get up to back up to Callisto.
Yeah, he is. He's taking a little bit of a different line if you look at him. Diamond in the corner off a little bit more in 1 and 2. See how he's about half a car width higher. Then he gets to about half a car width lower coming off. Or in the middle of the corner, and he's half a car width higher. See, there he is in turn 3 again. He's just offsetting a little bit, solidly in lane 2, and he's going to come off higher as well. almost like he's mirroring Lionel Callisto 1 lane higher.
He's got a great run down the front stretch.
He does. You can tell these are IndyCar guys too, by the way they're using the seams as lanes almost. Seams, by the way, will cause you to spin out if you hit them.
Yes. There is your top 5. Take a blanket, cover them up. And Callisto, Mall, Hearn, Wagner, Rigney. Flanagan trying to make moves to get back up to the front. Since he's relinquished the lead, he has been fighting to get back to it. Back up front is still our leader, Lionel Callisto.
Followed by Dean Mall and Matt Wagner is very quietly just kind of snuck his way back up to 4th. Rigney 5th. If I'm these top 5 guys, I don't know that I'm not. Oh, Richie, no, Dean, no, save it.
He did. But that cost him a ton of momentum, and that's going to open the door for Wagner to go to the bottom and try to capitalize that and move up to P2 with him, and bringing him through is Rigney. But Richie Hearn gets right underneath Wagner, blocks the hole, and now is all over the back tailgate of Wagner. They're going to bump draft him, try to get back up to the bump draft here and get probably bump draft down the front straight.
Now, that not only cost Dean Mall 2nd and 5th, but it kind of checked up Richie Hearn too. I think Richie lifted out of the gas just for a split second to see what might happen and gain himself a little bit of control. But now Hearn is just going to absolutely wear out the back of that 12 machine. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if pushing the 70, keeping a corner like that, might not have just overheated the rears on the 31. Might suspect that would be the case because Dean Mall hasn't had so much of a twitch this entire race. It was the first one. Of course, he is also there. He goes again.
Power slide. Oh my goodness, he is trying out for the Fast and Furious.
That was that looked like something you might see Formula D at the Long Beach Grand Prix.
So
right there,
I'm thinking Dean has to take a really, if he's that loose now, he needs to be a higher line. And there he is again. He's getting loose in the middle of turns 1 and 2. I think he needs to run a much higher line so he's not turning that wheel as much. And this is where you've said that they've been driving him like Indy cars.
Yeah, he's taking a very IndyCar line. See how early he's in the corner. There he goes again. There he goes again. He's loose.
Careful. And Cohen very, very cautiously coming up on him now.
Mark Cohen is approaching the 31. I don't even know if there's a good analogy for how careful he's being right here. Because you can see that truck, and that's scary. You see a guy in front of you that's that loose. You don't know what he's going to do. Is he going to hook it into the fence? Is he going to slide down the track? I need to give this guy some space. If he drives up on him, takes the air off the rear spoiler, that's just going to make it worse.
Yeah.
And Dean's got it hung out again going through 3 and 4.
Oof. Can we ride along here with Dean to see he's got his hands full?
I sure hope we can.
Here he goes. He's a lane and a half off the bottom. Now a full lane. There he is. He's fighting her.
You're right. He does need to get to the top, but he is running a very IndyCar-esque line. He's in a truck. His turn-in is where it would be in an IndyCar. In a truck, stock car, you want to go. Oh my goodness. It's going to give me a heart attack.
Yeah, we're watching them. You hear him playing with the throttle, and now that's going to open the door to Cohen. So Cohen doesn't want to get too far separated from those top 4. He wants to go now. His truck right now is behaving very well. He's had that truck pinned to the bottom all day. As you said, he needs to buy the yellow line some dinner.
No, I think Dean is listening to us. Oh,
Dean kisses the wall a little bit.
I think he was listening to me, though, because he was a full lane higher that time and entered a little bit deeper. He just didn't come off the power enough. But now he's going to try to go back to the bottom, and this should be interesting in 3 and 4. He's got the wheel. That chasing up the track, Dean. He entered turns 1 and 2 a little bit deeper.
3 wide for P2.
There they
Rigney
go.
to the bottom. That's going to probably move Rigney to P2, but not if Richie Hearn has anything to say. That getting the momentum on the high side, pinching Rigney down a little bit so he doesn't have a free as exit as he wanted, and momentum on the high side back to Hearn. Keep Hearn in second, but move Rigney up to P2. Cone with him in P4. Wagner back to 5th.
As it does, the bottom is very inviting, and it can be lava. The car on top, or the truck on top, as the case may be, Dean Mall had the wheel 90 degrees to the right coming off of turn 4. But the top will usually prevail as long as you can keep it kind of even. You can pull a little bit of the side draft coming off the corner, suck that guy back to you, and just out drag him going down a straightaway because you got so much more momentum.
Well, Bradley, looking at chat here, Bradley liked blocking the hole reference. He would have liked when you were just talking about the draft a little bit earlier in the broadcast. So, but go ahead.
What about dinner for the white line?
Wagner this time loose off of 4.
Yeah, they're starting to get greasy. This is the longest they've been out.
Yeah, this is 23 laps into this current run, and Cone really has the oldest tires, and I think he's been the most stable. He has that 41-lap-old tires, and he goes right to the bottom again. I'm wondering if he's doing an easy in, hard out, or maybe he's using the brake a little bit.
Probably both. So if he's doing what I'm suspecting, lifting a little bit earlier.
Yes, he is. Yep, he is.
He's kind of trail braking it a little bit in. He's letting the nose set up real good. Then he's easing into the throttle off of it. You're able to run that bottom line, not wear the tires out. Then there's also clean air down there, which is not a huge thing in trucks, but it does matter a little bit.
Listen to him. He lets it go into the bottom. He lets it get stable, and then he slowly rolls back into the throttle. Still has Rigney on his outside. Rigney is not letting them get away.
Oh, and then, but he comes off the corner, and he's got a truck up there, kind of brake. He's got Richie Hearn up there, who, thankfully I put my sunglasses on now so we can look at his pickup.
Polka Dot Express.
But, he slides up off there. He's got a truck in front of him, kind of break the wind for him a little bit. He's going to pull in right behind Rigney. That might be about the best thing.
There's another one for Bradley, or breaking the wind. So we're trying to hit we're hitting all the greatest hits here for double into windows.
Oh, you got 2 dads in here. What do you expect?
So Cone getting around Rigney. Now looking at the bottom side. Guiding it in slowly. Look, again, just off the throttle. Lets it get to the bottom. Lets it settle. Then he back into the power. And he's on to pit road because it is time for his final stop and a last set of tires. Did he speed? He had the speed. That looked really, really fast.
Let's see. Well, it all depends. So this isn't like what we're used to, where it's just a constant radar gun on you the whole time. It's a stopwatch in between these segments, but he is 70 miles an hour. He hits the cone.
He's getting work done. It's getting work done. And down and away, so it is a legal stop. Wow.
Got it woed down. So he got it woed down at the time he got to the second segment. It was at 55. So Mark Cone, nice job. Now he's trying to get off. Slippery down there. Hold on to her, buddy. get to the cone and back up on the racetrack.
So he's going to have not a full tank and new tires to go the distance for this final, now 28 laps.
Absolutely. And he did it without losing a lap. He came out 1.7 seconds ahead of Lionel Callisto. Now, it's going to get erased. That's going to go two ways. Mark Cohn should be able to go somewhat faster, and he should be able to pull away and put some distance on himself and Callisto. However, theoretically, Callisto, Hearn, and Rigney, those guys should have much shorter stops.
Yeah.
They should still have half a tank gas. Well, not half a tank, but...
Well, they're 29 laps on their current stint, so if we're talking, you said about 40, 45, then another 15 laps or so.
So, well, we've had a lot of cautions in there too, but we have some caution in there too. But I'm thinking, they may only have to take... We speak in trucks, so we're used to being able to adjust fuel by the half gallon. Memory serves, in stock cars, you adjust it in 1.7 gallon increments.
Michael Goodman to pit road for his final stop.
Well, this is kind of some monkey see, monkey do here. These guys are all smart. They're all experienced. They're all highly intelligent guys. They see Mark Cohn out there just absolutely driving away from the leader. They think, well, I might want some of that too.
Yeah, Cohn last time by a 40.4. This time by a 40.5.
So he's a second and a half a lap faster than Callisto, 1.3 seconds a lap quicker.
Yeah, Callisto has a purple lap. Callisto's at a 40.3.
But
he's turning 41.8.
Cohn's driven off. If these boys don't stop soon, it's not going to matter how short their fill is. He's going to be half a lap ahead of them.
And I hear someone slowing down. That's Richie Hearn. Richie Hearn, I think, is coming to pit road. I heard someone slowing down, and I think he saw the writing on the wall. I think you called his stop right here. Getting to those cones, getting to the pit road limiter there. He's not a limiter, actually using, this is the old IndyCar thing, having to use the tack in, was it second gear?
Yeah, second, well, first or second. I usually use second just because it's harder to speed. Yeah, first or second gear. And you're using lights. There's 5 or 6 lights on the tack, and you measure this before the race. To see
4 tires, and here comes Mark Cohen on the front straight, and he is going to wax whatever Richie Hearn was doing.
Yep. Wagner in now. I think these guys might have left it a little bit too late.
Von Vor Ellis on pit road as well.
Hearn might go a lap down here. Important to stay on that lead lap if you can. At this point, Callisto and Rigney, they're essentially committed to running it dry.
Yeah.
If you've stayed out this long, you're just going to run it dead. And,
I hear someone sliding.
Well, we got a spinner. We got one in the grass.
I don't know who it is. Dean Mall.
Oh, he did not come to pit road.
I think he was trying to come to pit road. Nope. He just that back into the car. Maybe he was trying to come to pit road.
Tell you what, if he wasn't, he better, because I don't think there's any adhesion left in those rear tires for old Dean Mall. He's been sliding all over the place. Sneakily up to 4th, by the way, George Alonso.
Yeah. Well, George, actually, he's going on a slightly different strategy than everyone else. He has 26 laps on his current stint, as well as Gallus at 27 laps on his current stint. They might be trying to go the distance here. Let me see here.
It could be. They'd be going 38.
They stopped at lap 42.
They'd be going 48 laps, so, been riding around slow enough, it's possible. Possible. It had some yellow in there, too.
And Gallus on the same strategy. Callisto, Rigney, now Sam Crow, who's going to be involved in this points battle here. He has worked his way up to third. He's 7 seconds behind the leading duo of Callisto and Rigney. You're right. Those two are going to have to let that tank run dry. Sam Crow might want to think about pitting here because he's just getting passed by everybody with newer tires.
Here's the thing, okay? Here's the thing, Gary. When Callisto and Rigney do pit, good will be gone. Mark Cohn and Richie Hearn and Matt Wagner and their tires. So when they stop, it's going to be reversed.
Matt Wagner just turned the purple lap of 40.2. That time by.
But it's going to be reversed. So it's going to be reversed. So the good is going to be gone from Wagner and Cohn and those guys. It's going to fall away more slowly for Wagner than it is for Cohn. He's seems like lap. My lap time's up here. Seems like about after 10 laps they start to fall off. So the good is going to start going away on Mark Cohn's tires first.
Sam Crow, pit road.
See what I mean about it being now? George is on pit lane. He hit pit road too.
Yeah.
He's going to bail out.
So Hugo Gallus has not stopped. So George went 28 laps on that stint. So maybe he's halving it or something. Sam Crow leaving pit road with George.
Just been he'd had enough.
Yeah.
Could have just been he'd had enough. It's going to be interesting. This is going to be interesting at the end. This is another one of those, I think I said it at Motegi, this is another one of those kind of cerebral races where you have to think your way through it. Right? Is it going to be the undercut or the overcut?
All right, here comes Callisto to pit road. Get down. He does. Now get it slowed up and woed up. There we go. Getting to the line safely on pit road. Now working his way down to his box, turning the lead over to Rigney. Rigney 39 laps on the current stint.
Oh. That would mean Rigney's due in any time. Let's watch and see where Callisto comes out in comparison to Mark Cohn.
And he's going with 4 tires. Here comes Rigney. Got Dean Mall going underneath him, get back on the lead lap. Rigney staying very high, but not coming to pit road. So he's going to go commit himself to at least another lap, staying in the draft of Dean Mall. Dean Mall amongst the early leaders. Had handling issues through the last part of the previous stint. Now with new tires, I bet he feels like $1 million. Cristobal Valenzuela on pit road coming off. He is done. So now we wait on Rigney, Gallus, and then the lead goes back to I think Mark Cohn is past Wagner, Hurd, and Callisto. I think the lead will go to Cohn if we do not see a caution. Here comes Rigney, pit road. He's also slowed and woed. Now he's working his way down to his stall. Gallus still going. Gallus has himself a 3-second lead or 12-second lead over Cohn now. Can he milk it for the remainder of the distance? I don't know.
He committed to this really early, Gary. Hugo has been consistently about a second off of what everybody else has been doing. So that tells me, and you see him just let
Let's ride. We're riding with him right now. Cohn now 12 seconds. Letting Cristobal Valenzuela back on the lead lap. High side, milking it.
It's just so hard to do. So hard to do. So he's partial throttle down the straightaway. Listen to him at the engine. Now you save fuel in these trucks a lot different than you would in an open wheel car. So you heard the coast phase, but you heard the coast phase through the middle. Did you catch that?
Yeah, I did hear that.
It's in the middle of the corner. It's not in the. It's in the middle of the corner. It's not in the beginning.
Cone now has it down to about 10.5 seconds. Cone riding two completely different lines. Cone on the bottom. Gala's up by the wall.
Hugo's thinking, give me a yella. Somebody.
Anything.
Somebody, anybody. Right?
Wagner is cutting into Cone a little bit, back by 2 seconds.
How powerful was that undercut? Lionel Castillo came out 17 seconds behind the leader. He came out. He's now 6 seconds behind Mark Cone. That was a huge move by Cone.
And here goes. This is Sam Crow. Sam Crow must have had a penalty on pit road, so unfortunately he is now. That is not going to help him in the points possible getting out of this race as the points leader. He is now back in 16th, last car running, 2 laps down. Chris Fowler still 1 lap down.
So Gary, looking at the times, give me about 3 laps.
And here comes Hugo. I think he took it as long as he could.
Give me 3 more laps maybe, and we're gonna have a scrap between Lionel Castillo and everybody else, because Lionel is coming. He is 1.6 seconds quicker than Cone 2 laps ago. 1.5 that time. He is eating these guys up. So that tire crossover has happened, where Cone, Wagner, and Richie Hearn are on the old tires, and Callisto still has the good on his.
Yeah, let's give you an update on that. 18-lap old tires for Mark Cohen, your leader. Hugo Gallas, still showing him as P2 in one of my overlays, but actually as Matt Wagner is P2. Matt, 13-lap old tires. Richie Hearn right behind Wagner on 14-lap old tires. And you mentioned it, Callisto, 7-lap old tires, running this group down very quickly.
He's there. He's right to the back of Richie Hearn now. So he's caught Hearn and Matt Wagner. Callisto was full second a lap quicker than Wagner that time.
To the bottom.
He's going to drive around him. So there goes Callisto in a second.
Oh, Richie!
Oh!
He got it back under control, but that's probably going to cost him a podium finish now.
Yeah, well, now he's made the tires angry. Thankfully for Richie Hearn, a long way back to Mike Rickney. He's got...
Yeah, 6 seconds. Yeah, 7 seconds almost. 6.6.
It's a long way back to P5. So
all right, 10 to go. Callisto now 7/10 up the cone.
So has Mark Cone saved anything for this?
I don't know. We're going to see as Callisto is there.
Yes, he is. The worst thing you do is try to block here. He's so much faster. You just pick a line and, okay, you're going to pass me high or low. That time, Mark Cone picked the low line, and Lionel Callisto just drove right around the outside. I mean, nothing you can do about it when a guy is that much quicker. This will be his 10th lap. These tires coming up.
Yep, and Callisto right to the top, right around him. It was almost no contest. And so now let's see if he can just get to the end now with no cautions, and this will be the second win of the season for Callisto, and will probably be our new points leader.
And you said the magic words, Gary.
Caution, caution, caution. Dean Mall on the inside wall on pit road.
I've got a shiny new dime that says he finally wasn't able to save it. Let's see. Through 3 and 4.
Yeah, and that back end just whoop.
Yeah, he couldn't quite hang on.
As Keith Berman likes to say, whoop. And right around he goes.
Didn't,
oh, that is really bad luck for last week's winner.
Or is it, Gary?
Or is it? Indeed.
Or is it? So Dean Mall's going to come down here. No doubt he's going to get 4 new Goodyears. And,
well, what happens now? Does Callisto come down pit road and get, or is he on his last set? Who has a set of tires left?
I think they've all got one set.
I don't think Callisto does. Cohen does. Wagner probably does. Hearn does. Rigney does. Beard, who very quietly worked his way up to 6th, does, I think. We're going to see. We're going to see. They're coming to pit road right now.
We're going to see. Here's the other thing. If you're Callisto, you're almost darned if you do and darned if you don't.
Yeah. And
he's going to stay out.
Cohn is going. Wagner's going. Hearn's going. Rigney's staying out. He's going for track position.
Yep. Well stayed out here. We've got
Beard stayed out. Beard stayed out. Say Hey Lewis Hayes has stayed out. Flanagan stayed out. And now here's the wave around. Here's the wave around for Fowler that we've been waiting on.
Oh.
So he's on 11 lap old tires. I don't know if he'll have enough time if he can get around the stop.
He should. Lights are still out, so this track's big enough. He should be able to get back to pit lane, get four fresh ones and get out there. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 trucks.
Wagner got around Cohn. Cohn manages to hold station against Hearn. Goodman coming off pit road. Gala's coming off. Actually, I don't think he came off pit road. George Anzaldo coming off of pit road. I think Dean Mall coming off of pit road, getting fast repair taken care of. He's back in this with new tires.
Oh, and as fast as he's been, we've only got.
Well, we'll have 6 laps to go. We'll have 5 laps to go. Probably 4 laps to go with green. Lights are still on the pace truck. We'll probably go out this time, and then we'll start lining them up in their rows of 2 for the restart for 4 to go. And then we'll have an 8-mile sprint slug out to the finish here. Thanks for joining us. If this is the first time that you've joined us on one of these Race First broadcasts of the ISRA Truck Series, or any series for that matter, IndyCar, DW12, IRO5, you name it. Then we also see Sam Crow getting out of the way, so they're going to crunch all of the leaders up together now. Feel free to like the video, leave a comment and chat if you'd like. Also, definitely subscribe to the channel and click the bell for weekly reminders, daily reminders of other iRacing broadcasting here on Race First, including tomorrow night, 8:15, the IndyCar Oval Series top split at Charlotte.
Lights are out, Gary. Top 7 do not have tires. Everybody from Matt Wagner, P8 on back, has the freshies. And what about Chris Fowler now back on the lead lap? How about Dean Mall with a new set and a fresh, fast repair?
Fowler just lined up. Fowler just lined up, so he did not stop.
Bradley wants to know who has the best shot here. I don't think any
best shot. Wagner's going to have the freshest tires. He's placed the highest of the freshest tires.
I gotta believe the winner's is gonna be either Wagner, Cohn, or Hearn. I don't think these guys with 4 laps are gonna be okay for a lap or 2, but I don't know once the tires get heated. I mean, they were I mean, those tires are worth a second and a half a lap. I just don't see how they can hold them off, except for there's a lot of trucks. As we get ready to go back to green.
Here we go. Here we go. Callisto spins the wheels a little bit, but gets it straightened out. Rigney on the outside, side by side, as we go green with 5, now 4 to go. 8 miles undecided here at Michigan, going into turn 1.
Wagner and Hearn are 3 wide. Those guys know they got to go. They're
4 wide on corner exit.
Make that 5. Make that 5.
And they're touching. They're touching. Great job, guys. Come on. They got Crystal Ball in the middle. He is the meat in a little 4-wide sandwich. Cone to the bottom. Rigney to the top.
They finally wrecked it. Holy mackerel! They wrecked there Gary, for what? 2/3 of a lap.
They were trying. They were really trying. Fowler on pit road. Dean Mall, I think, made it through.
Polka Dot Mobile made it.
Here we go again. And let's go up to the Race First One airship. Everyone say hi to TC. He's the pilot of the Race First One airship there. 4 wide going into the corner here. They should have wrecked it on the backstretch.
It was just, well, you had Cone on the bottom with
and that was a terminal engine shot to Fowler. Fowler's done.
Yeah. That was just, I don't see how they made it that far, but then 4 wide and Flanagan and Valenzuela finally get together, and poor Fowler, his truck ran all the way to the scene of the crash after he got it fixed there, finally back on the lead lap.
Yeah, Fowler getting caught up in someone else's doing there. Unfortunately, that's going to relegate him to a 16th place finish. Joe Flanagan also involved. The pole sitter who led very early, getting work done, might not have the fast repair checked or has already used it. He's now sitting on pit road going another lap down. Sam Crow, he is going to get the lucky dog wave around. That's going to put him back up to the lead lap, and he might be out of tires, so I don't know if he's going to be able to get any new rubber on, but he will at least be on the lead lap and fighting at the finish here.
Well, and now the plot thickens again, because Wagner made it up to second, so he's in the catbird seat here. Rigney out on old tires, 15 laps with some caution in there. Callisto, I can't talk. Callisto third. Say hey, Lewis Hayes fourth. Then everybody fifth on back has the tires again. So. You'd have to call it Wagner in a catbird seat, but who knows? Cone has been just extremely fast on that bottom, Gary. They leave that lane open. He's going to be third in line on the bottom. Could drive past these guys if they get to racing, because Wagner's going to have to go to the outside of Rigney. That's the only way he's going to be able to drive around him. I think that Rigney's going to take it to the bottom here.
I do want to encourage everyone that's watching, whether it be live or after the fact, if you've not done so, please donate to the program. Our GoFundMe is in the link is in the description. Unfortunately, I had to dip into the broadcast funds. The family pet, unfortunately, had a rough night, and we had to euthanize it. Man, that stuff is it's just not cheap, and it's just uncomfortable anyways. And so I had to dip into the funds for the girls. My girls were a mess, but I'll do anything for them. But if you guys could donate, I certainly would appreciate it to help make up for that, because those are funds going right back into the broadcast here to make our overlays look better, to help pay for great commentary by people like Mark Murphy and others. If you can, please do so. Really, really would appreciate it, as we are now going to have ourselves a green-white checker, but it's no, it's not a natural green-white checker. It's actually going to be, we're going to go a little into overtime.
It's going to be the Dale Jr. green-white checker. We all know how that came about. And speaking of others, how about old Kyle Clinworth had just a massive run tonight in the open race. the Open IndyCar race at California.
One of our race first commentators that we have on hand in the VOR DW12 series.
Boy, Clindy, I know you didn't get the result you wanted, but you were worth the price of admission for sure. Speaking of the price of admission, this is going to get real good between Wagner, Rigney, Callisto, Hayes, Cone, and Hearn.
The pace truck is off. Field is under the command of the host with the most, Mike Rigney. Outside is Matt Wagner.
He goes. Left it late. Good job. Didn't spin the tires. Wagner's going to get to his outside.
Cone
and here comes Cone on the bottom. Going to be 3 wide here coming off of 2. That's right where you don't want to be on old tires, is in the middle. Cone did exactly what I thought he was going to do. He just
Cone to the bottom. Cone to the bottom still. 3 wide going. Oh, a little bit of rubber back there between Anzaldo and Gallus. 3 wide into 3. Cone probably is going to get the edge, at least on Rigney coming off the corner, but he's going to have a really fast Matt Wagner up top.
Right, here we go. Now, who leads at the line? It's going to be Cone by about a foot. Cone's going to get a shot from Rigney.
0.08 was the difference at the line.
That shot from Rigney to Cone might have been the difference. It's going to shove Mark Cone out to the lead. I don't know why you're going to call him Mike Cone.
Still side by side, getting the momentum on the high side. Here is Matt Wagner.
All right, here we go, Gary.
Cone to the bottom. Wagner might cross him over, try to go to the apron.
He did it. Did it.
Cone is going to get it. Wagner's going to get it. And he does over Cone. And I think Richie Hearn snuck in for 3rd.
Most certainly did. Mike Rigney comes home 4th. Well done on those old wore-out tires for him. But Matt Wagner with the massive crossover brings it home your winner today at Michigan. Holy mackerel.
Yeah. Actually, we might have that interval that we could show you right there. Yeah, that's the interval to that 0.020. Yes. So Matt Wagner is the winner. Mark Cone in his first race of the season. Hey, pushing it back 35 minutes. Did him pretty good today. P2. Richie Hearn, I don't know when his last podium was in Lionheart competition, but he finally gets on the podium here with a solid race, and above all else, a solid internet connection. Mike Rigney, the host with the most, P4. George Ansaldo, P5, snuck in there for a top 5 for Big George. Way to go. Michael Goodman, another top 10. Good run for him. Hugo Gallas in the fight to the bitter end, P7. Lionel Callisto, fortunately, it's not Callisto again this week for win number 2, but I think he's going to do well in the points championship. We'll see how those shake out here momentarily. Say hey, Lewis Hayes, very consistent finish here. Another top 10 for him at 9th. Brian Beard 10th. Valenzuela 11th. Crow 12th. Van Voor Ellis 13th. Flanagan, our pole center 14th. Dean Mall 15th. And then Fowler, Hacker, Hassert, and Reagan round out the remainder of the 19 truck field.
Love this, by the way, Gary. Matt Wagner did exactly what you should do at Michigan. There are only 3 tracks in iRacing where you can go to victory lane. Michigan, California, and Phoenix, and the 12 is Parks. Victory lane. It's the little things, right? Love it.
All right. And let's take a look. And again, just remind everybody, thumbs up if you haven't done so already. Well, that was a great finish. Definitely deserves a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't done so already. Ring the bell. And like we said, donate to the program if you've done so already as well. You could definitely use your donation. So I think we should take a look in the waiting room. Richie Hearn is already there. And we will see if Mark and Matt will get in there next. But then we see Wagner in there. Let's bring up Richie Hearn. Richie Hearn in the booth here with Gary and Mark. Man, it's been a long time coming. I don't know when I couldn't think of the last time you had a podium in the Lionheart competition, but solid race. But above all else, as I said, solid internet connection. And P3 for you, my friend. Congratulations, sir.
Yeah, it's been a long time since I've been invited to the booth. And I'll tell you what, that was some of the most fun I've had in a long time. Just the way the tires wore. I mean, you really had to pedal that thing, and fortunately the tires worked out at the end, and I'm just super pumped.
So let's talk about those tires. I'm sure Murph probably has some tires as well. I mean, a lot of guys wanted to drive these trucks like they were Indy cars, and they're just kind of leaving that right side hanging out there. And then there seemed to be a fine line you could ride with those right sides until that line was exceeded, and the back end just came around on it, and you really had to adjust your line accordingly.
Yeah, it was really easy to get too aggressive when you had new tires and just flat it all the way around, but you're going to pay the price, and you kind of just had to lift and just steady throttle, and just you had to find that fine line of just where it was just a little bit free. As soon as the thing would yaw out, you just kill those tires, and it was hard to come back from that.
Go ahead, Murph.
Yeah, so Richie Hearn, excellent third place finish today. I can tell you're having fun, and I can tell you're having fun because that truck, you got to have sunglasses on to look at it. Tell us about the polka dots.
Yeah, I told the guy to paint. I want the most annoying paint job ever, and that's what he came up with. So it worked. I think I wanted something distracting.
It's definitely highly visible, sir. So well done, Richie Hearn.
Yeah, I was. I'll tell you what. I like to say that was a lot of fun. These trucks are fun when you're on where you got to kind of really drive it. And I'm really bummed out that my teammate Reagan couldn't get in. He was having some problems with his computer, and
that's what we thought. Yeah,
I know he's pretty bummed out, but because he's obviously had 3 podiums in a row, and I'll talk to him a little bit later, but he'll be on at the next one.
Well, definitely long time in coming. Get you here in the booth. Pleasure to have you in here. Shout out to anyone who wants to say hi to, thank to, sponsors, what that type of thing here, getting on the podium.
Really just to the organizers of this league, since we, obviously Lionheart kind of took a break and getting us all together and then doing something different. I know the DW12 is fun, but this is something completely out of all our wheelhouse, and I'm enjoying it to the end, so I can't wait for the next one. Thanks to you guys for doing this. I will donate to your cause. I haven't done that yet, but I was thinking about it yesterday, and man, can't wait. Hopefully I can get on the podium on Wednesday and talk to you guys again.
We'll be grateful for anything you could give, and we had a fun time watching you. Congratulations, Richie Hearn, P3 here at Michigan.
Thanks, Richie.
And I should say Indy 500 veteran Richie Hearn, real life Indy 500 veteran.
I always get kind of giddy. By the way, because I remember watching him when I was growing up, man. Like Indy. I remember skipping school to go to time trials to watch him qualify.
I was watching him. Unfortunately, we didn't broadcast the DW12 race because we had Mike Rigney and I agreed that we would have 15 starters in order to do a broadcast, and only less than 10 or right at 10 showed up. But Richie was driving the Food for Less Dallara DW12, so that popped me. So it's always good to see the old school paint liveries of and of course we know he drove that to a win at Vegas and drove it to what should have been a Rookie of the Year award at Indianapolis, but of course that went to Tony Stewart. But anyways, that was great talking to him. It's always great to have the real IndyCar drivers. We get a chance to talk to them.
Sure.
Let's go ahead.
Yeah.
Let's bring up the Watchman.
Who we got? Yeah, let's talk to the Watchman.
All right. We got the Watchman, Mark Cohn, And extra 35 minutes pushed it back that allowed you to get into this one and put on quite a show for us. So close yet so far, sir. First race, but great showing. We made a joke midway through the race, actually very early in believe the first stint, and it was Murph's going to get credit for it. But, man, you were so attached to that white line at the bottom of the racetrack, you really should buy a dinner first.
Yeah, no, I tried the second lane from the bottom in practice, and I heard that was the line to run, but it just kept wearing the tires too much, so I just stuck it to the bottom, and it just kept going. So did what we could there.
Cool deal, man. That was fun to watch.
It was.
You were lower than everybody else. Tell us your secret. Was it lifting early? Was it trail braking? Was it just being real easy on the tires? How were you able to keep it going for so long down there? There are guys who do it for a lap or two, but you were able to do it for the full run.
Honestly, Mike Rigney gave me a tip right before the race, and I just ran with it and did what I could to save those tires. And I was worried I was going to get too loose, but they just held on.
Good deal. Good show, man. That was a lot of fun to watch.
Thank you. I could have been one spot better, but Wagner had it. Congrats to him.
Shout out to anyone who would say hi to, sponsors, friends, family.
Yes, Loud Pedal Motorsports, best team. They're fantastic. My sponsors, Bobby Legs Loves Watches, Hans Wildork, Wrong Time Watch, Nizumi Studios, SimLab, DeWars, and Sam Maxwell Customs. And also thank you to you guys for this broadcast and Mike Rigney for organizing this great league. I'm glad to be a part of it.
Well, a pleasure to watch you tonight. Congratulations on P2. Hopefully we see you next week at we're going to Gateway next, but hopefully we also see you on Wednesday in the DW12s.
I'll definitely be there Wednesday and hopefully on Monday next week as well. Thank you guys.
Congrats. He almost sounded a little disappointed. Real quick, I got the snipping tool because I don't have the graphic up for it yet. I'll drag it onto the screen here. This is the point situation. Lionel Callisto is the points leader, 147 to 138 over Matt Wagner. So we'll be talking with Matt just a moment here as he's now P2 in the standings. Sam Crow still is third with 130 points, 7 points to the good over Michael Goodman. Dean Darth Maul is P5. Say Hey Lewis Hayes is P6. Christopher Reagan lost 6 spots down to 7th, and I hope whatever was wrong with his machine gets that taken care of. I've been a victim of those. I feel his pain immensely. Mike Rigney now 8th in the standings. Richie Hearn 9th. And he is tied with Hugo Gallas actually for 9th. So the top 10 still very, very close. Top 3 still also as close as well. I mean, nothing's been decided. We're only halfway through this, but Callisto is still your leader. Let's bring up Matt Wagner. I know he's been wanting to get up here eventually, and we do have him up here. Here's Matt Wagner. Matt, congratulations on the win, and also just want to update you on the points. You're up to P2 in the points now.
That's actually quite surprising. With I thought I had a good decent finish the last time around. Of course the bad strategy, the IndyCar strategy, didn't work. So I went with the truck strategy, and it kind of paid off by saving the tires at the end.
Go ahead, Murph.
Yeah, so good looking hot rod for you tonight, Matt. Got the black. You got some gold trim on it. Advanced Auto Parts. Good looking ride. I gotta know though, coming off of turn 4, you pulled the switch back and went back to the bottom. I thought you were just gonna ride the top and drive around him. Talk me through that last set of corners coming to the flag. What was your thought process in going for the cutback versus driving around him on the top next to the wall?
So I felt like if he was running not entirely on the first seam, generally your car would get loose here at Michigan. It tends to, there's different banking on the bottom of the track. So if he rode the second seam, I was going to try and cross him over, and turned out it worked. And he didn't run the first seam, so generally your car will get kind of a little bit upset if you run down there. So I guess my IndyCar mentality kind of paid off there, because usually I do those crossover moves, and it
Done
turned
them
out
on
a
me
winner.
for sure.
Huh?
You've done them on me for sure.
It's been a while since we raced each other. I mean, Gary, too bad we couldn't broadcast the DW12s. That thing was a blast. Technically, it would have been 2 in a row for me.
That's right.
So, but that's okay. I'm pretty happy. I tell you what, burning these tires off was wow. I mean, I tried to run down Mark, and I was thinking like, oh man, I better not burn my stuff up too much. And I thought Richie was in the catbird seat, but lo and behold, here comes that 2 truck. My God, he was quick. He was quick all race long. If that caution had come out, he definitely would have won the race.
Well, first time we got you here, at least for the a win this season, but we've had you on before, and I know you've been looking for that long, elusive win.
Yes.
So, so congratulations. So I know you got some shout-outs to people you want to say hi to.
Oh, yeah, I got plenty of people. So actually, shout out to all my guys at TWR. I love you guys. You guys are the best. The Lionheart Series, Mike Rigney, thank you for putting this on. This is such a blast. I'm having a great time. And you guys in the booth, I listen to every broadcast. You got Mark, I love your insights. Gary, you guys do a fantastic job. Keep it up.
Well, thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. We're trying our hardest just as much as you're trying your hardest behind the wheel tonight. So congratulations on that win, and hope to see you next week at Gateway, and hope to see you on. Hopefully we have enough for a lineup on Wednesday at Nashville for DW12s,
and Sunday at Iowa.
That's right, in the Dark Horse Series at Iowa. That's going to be at 8 p.m. Start here on Race First. And that will be part of the their DW12 series there in Dark Horse. So you got it, man. We're going to see a lot of Matty Wagner this week on the program.
All right, boys. Y'all take it easy. Have a good night.
You got
Thanks,
it.
Guys.
Yeah, good job, man.
Bye. Yeah, bye.
Congratulations. Enjoy it.
Wow. There you go. And I have, as close as I could get it on the screen, there is your margin of victory. Basically, it's a hood length.
That was close. That was Days of Thunder style. That was Ricky Craven and Kurt Busch at Darlington. That was they let it all hang coming to flag. And what a great race. Again, not just a stand on it for 20 laps and get a caution. We had varied strategies. We had comers. We had goers. We had everything that makes a race entertaining for a race fan in this one. We had one of the genuinely nicest guys that I know in the service, Matt Wagner, go to Victory Lane. We got to talk to Richie Hearn. We got to talk to Mark the Watchman. Always a good time. Just what a fun night. I'm enjoying this. These guys claim they're having fun in these trucks. I'm enjoying not being in a truck and being in the booth. This is fun for me too.
I tell people, like, don't you ever want to drive? And I was like, yeah, that's a lot of fun, but at the end of the day, maybe your race wasn't as good as you wanted it to be, or whatever. You find a lot of pleasure at getting to call one of these races, especially as close as this, and to see how happy and deserving everyone is to be on that podium. And that's kind of one of the reasons why I like to broadcast, is that it's just everyone that generally we talk to, at least when we bring them up into the booth, is very happy, versus everyone else has kind of gone off into another channel to talk about I sped on pit road or whatever. But it's always good to see the smiles it brings to people's faces. So that's it for me. You got anything else?
I don't know anything else. You've exhausted my knowledge for one day. We're gonna have to wait for another 37 minutes for my brain to reset. But just a fun night and a fun series and a good time. And I'm glad these guys are enjoying it. The high level IndyCar stuff can be extremely stressful in the best of times.
Yeah.
And so it's good to see these guys kicking loose and having some fun. And it's good to hear joy sometimes.
Yeah.
Where, guys have been running hard and stressed out and had to grind for a while. It's good to see them have fun.
Well, once again, that's it for tonight. Join me and Mark again next week for round 5 of the RSA Truck Series as the teams and drivers head to Gateway. But once again, your podium from Michigan is Matty Wagner with the win, Mark Cohen in his first start of the season getting a P2, Richie Hearn with the well-deserved and a more than long and coming podium here finish, P3 for the Indy 500 veteran. So coverage next week begins around 9:35 p.m. Eastern time. Again, that's 9:35 p.m. Eastern. It's a new time, so as always, you can find everything you need to know time-wise right here on YouTube at youtube.com/RaceFirst. Now, as you know, the YouTube algorithm game is not an easy one, so please help support RaceFirst with the weekly grind. Leave a comment below. Let us know what you thought of tonight's race, and if you enjoyed tonight's coverage, and you better have, because it was a great race, support us by smashing like in the video. If you're new, click subscribe while you're at it, hit the bell for weekly reminders so don't miss out more Race Versus other iRacing programming, including our signature broadcast tomorrow night, the iRacing IndyCar Oval Series top split, 8:15 p.m. Eastern, and that is at Charlotte. Join Stephen Larkamp, Justin Petschauer, and myself, and maybe we see Mark Murphy on track for that one. Keep your browser set here for the most in-depth IndyCar knowledge on all of iRacing. RaceFirst, we know what Indy means. For business inquiries, learn more about RaceFirst and what we do, visit racefirst.com, like us on Facebook, or follow us on Twitter. So, for Murph, everyone here at RaceFirst, I'm Gary Gatto saying all good night, and thanks for watching. And to all of our men and women serving in the military and as first responders, Godspeed, God bless, come home safe. Catch us again right here next week for round 5 in Gateway for the next race of the ISRA Truck Series. Good night.